anyway, I found that interesting, this back and forth between he and Macron. What did you make of that?
Well, strictly speaking, Schultz fancies himself a Bismarckian figure. And the German chancellor, certainly before World War I, was an enormously powerful figure. And he had great authority to do almost anything he wanted given to him by the emperor. So I think there's a certain amount of self-delusion involved with that. But he knows the Germans have no interest in this. Nobody in Europe has an interest in going to war in Ukraine. All of this is a proxy effort. What can we do to weaken Russia? You would think by now the fools would recognize that all they've done is strengthen Russia. Russia is stronger militarily now than it's been since the 1980s. Now they're showing you the latest tactical nuclear weapons, mobile nuclear missiles that can essentially hit any target they need to in Europe. They can vaporize airfields, ports, cities as needed. The other thing is we don't have any air defense. In other words, we talk about air and missile defense. We really don't have much.
In the United States?
Well, both in the United States and in Europe. We've always depended on our air forces, and the underlying assumption has been that our air forces can penetrate anything and drop bombs with impunity and launch missiles with impunity. That's not really true anymore. The Russians are heavily invested in integrated air defenses, integrated air and missile defenses. They're quite prepared to deal with us if we rely exclusively on the Air Force. And to be blunt, that's all we've got right now.
Ooh, terrifying. Ooh, terrifying to think about.
All right, Shalom. This is Howard 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Ha Rakah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. I'm going to start off with this one precept. Isaiah 34:16. It says here, seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. All right, the scriptures say in Revelations 1 and 3, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, man. That's what this is all about, prophecy. Meaning the Most High spoke this from the beginning into existence. All right. It tells you that in 2 Ezra chapter 9, that the Most High spoke these things from the beginning. Now, no one of these shall fail, right? Because the scriptures say the Lord, his word shall not come back void. So the Most High spoke these things into existence, just like he did with the sun, moon, and the stars. He said, let it be, and it was. The Most High spoke these things into existence as well. The prophecy. It said, none shall want her mate, right? Like they say you could read a damn Harry Potter book, but the Bible is truth, right? It cannot be compared to. It's fiction versus non-fiction. So the Bible is non-fiction. You know, it's true. So none shall want her mate. So no other book, no Quran, no other book can help you but the Holy Bible. Why? Because the Lord, the Most High gave the word, and great was the company that published it. Got it written in paper. Caused them to be written in paper. That's in the scriptures. It spoke the Lord's words publicly. It says, for my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. Okay? So his spirit has gathered these words, and the word is gathering the Lord's men through the spirit. So the reason I want to bring that out is, none shall want her mate. No other book is speaking about this, man. The prophecies that's going on today. All right, and you see, they said what, after World War II, America became proud, just like NATO, them European countries that's threatening to put troops into Russia, into Ukraine, and Russia said if they do that, Russia's going to have to step it up a level to go nuclear. All right, they talking about dropping nukes in the Earth atmosphere, man, on these countries over there, the NATO countries. So they're provoking what the bear. All right, so I'm gonna get this real quick. So this was after. This was after. Like I said, World War II. So like, all right, so this was after World War II. World War II was around what 1938 to 1945. It says here Revelations 13 and 4, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So who gave NATO its power? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, those European countries that came together to create a military alliance to go against Russia. So as long as Russia and China were not considered enemies, current enemies, then there was no reason for NATO. Now that they established the narrative that Russia's the enemy, now NATO has a reason to exist again. All right. So people submitted to what Europe and their power and their bankers, and which gave what power to NATO to be the military alliance that it is today, or the military threat. And they worshipped the beast. They submitted to the beast as well, which is NATO, saying, "Who is like unto NATO, or the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" Man, see, people were afraid before, and that's when Russia stepped up and said, "They'll do it." They started showing off their nukes in the 1950s, doing nuclear tests, nuclear arms race. All right, creating deterrence. And that was all the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, building Russia up to be as powerful as it is today. See, they were afraid before, but now these nations are not afraid. Let me get this real quick. They said on Redacted, that's what that clip was from. The show Redacted. It says, America relied strongly on its Air Force and being able to bomb any place, but they never built up their missile defenses and their walls. All right, so they're trying to do that now, and it's too late. So that's what they relied on, is this, Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So this place is becoming a desolation. You know, that's this destiny for America to be a desolation. Who was able to make war with them? Because the spearhead for NATO is America. All right, the leading nation in NATO is America. So how is the hammer of the whole earth? They said if you're a hammer, every problem is a nail. So any nation that gave America problems, or Europe any problems, they would go over there and nail them, drop them bombs on them. But they didn't have any defenses, you know. So how was the hammer of the whole earth broken? Because it has no defenses, man. It's like a boxer that come out swinging all hype, but then they get hit. Then you see how weak that fighter really is. And that's what's happening. America is the hammer of the earth, man. That Europe pushed their policies through, their business. That's why the scriptures say that in Habakkuk 2. Right? Right. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, because America was able to continually destroy on this earth through their business, through their military. He is a what? He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, man. And they're trying to enlarge their desires on the borders of Russia and bring hell. And is as deaf and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. All right, and Russia knows that America's trying to dominate. So what has Russia done? They built up their stockpile of missiles, showed off their advanced technology, invincible missiles, showed their missile defenses that they have, air and sea and ground defenses, AI technology defenses, all kind of shit. So yep, because they said they're supposed to. This really them putting the war in Ukraine. They're saying it's not really for America to go to war with Ukraine with Russia. It's really a setup to try to bleed Russia of its resources through Ukraine. Had them go to war with the Ukrainians and fight them through a proxy. You know, using the Ukrainians. The scriptures say that the least among them shall draw them out. So using Ukraine to pull Russia and America into an entangled war, a proxy war, of which they're hoping that Russia will use up all its resources, but instead it made Russia stronger. That's the Most High doing that. Let's get that real quick. All right, so let me get this first. This is Jeremiah 51 and 1. All right, let's start from 51 and 1. Let me go ahead so I can get it too. It says, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. Babylon is America today. So who raised up these nations against this place? The Most High did, Yahweh. I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. All right, so the Lord raised up all the technology, the missiles, the scientists, Oppenheimer and, you know, all these German scientists, Einstein. The Most High created all the technology and the missiles, the plutonium, uranium, the friction between the countries, World War I, World War II, and it built up Russia all the way up to this point in China, made them allies, BRICS nations, and Iran. So who raised them up? The Most High did. And against them, so this destroying wind. All of a sudden get to that point, the destroying wind and the fire. That's what it's all about, the Most High's wrath. And will send unto Babylon fanners. All right, so basically nations to challenge this place. All right, strangers, foreign nations, enemies against this place. So the Lord raised them up that shall fan her and shall empty her land, man. So they're going to shake this place up, cause her to be in fear, cause America to be shaken. And they're going to empty this land through the missiles. For in the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about. So when this place falls, the dollar crash or whatever event is coming, by that point, these nations are going to be fully foreign Voltron against this damn place. You know, have their alliance together. roundabout. So same with NATO is to come together in the EU. The Lord has established Russia, China, Iran, these other nations to come together and form the BRICS. And the other military alliance with Russia, Iran, maybe Turkey, China, Africa, of which they used to use Canada to oppress these African nations, like France, with their small armies. And they're allies with NATO, so those small armies can't do anything with Russia. So they talking about sending troops in when it's really a bait to try to pull Russia into using all the resources so it could be weaker. And then they could try to go to war with Russia, direct war. Because they know it's coming. So, verse 3, and against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. See, America was the first one that was putting them atomic bombs out there, World War II. All right, that bent and made their bow ready, pointing them at the nations. And against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine. A brigandine is like body armor. You used to see the ancient fighters used to wear, it looked like mesh. That was called a brigandine. So America's brigandine would be their missile defenses, which they don't have any. Their defense is their offense. All right? And the Air Force and shit like that. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts, man. So that's what's gonna happen. This place gonna be left wide open. You know? So it's not gonna have any defenses. Right, let me get that. This is Joel 2 and 1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. So we're sounding an alarm amongst the Lord's elect, hopeful elect. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. See, the inhabitants of this land are going to tremble. See, from them fanners that's set to shake this place up, cause them to tremble. For the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Man, it's getting closer and closer. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. All right, so it's going to happen little by little, like the morning spread upon the mountains. You know, the prophecy is going to start off and then spread. A great people and strong. Man, that's how the missiles gonna spread out in the sky. There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Right, because this is dealing with missiles and the nukes being fired on the earth. He said, scriptures say, this war shall be with burning and fuel of fire. It's a different type of war. Even compared to World War I and World War II, there weren't nations shooting nukes back and forth. And now Russia has mobile nukes and nukes that can be shot close to the borders of NATO, of Europe, close to the borders of America, So they're saying if NATO puts these troops in Ukraine, Russia's going nuclear, man, with the war. A fight. So ultimately America and Europe are going to be left wide open because they don't have any true missile defense. They're just a bully. A great people, so like in verse 3, a fire devoureth before them. about the scripture saying in Revelation 9, the missiles, and you see the video of the avant-garde missiles from Russia, it's like a fire in front of it because it's burning the elements up in the sky. It's that heat and that speed. All right. And when it explodes, fire is in the front, is in the head, warhead. All right. So a fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burneth. That's what the propulsion system, like you see right here. They got nuclear propulsion and AI technology now with missiles. The land is as the Garden of Eden before. It's gonna be wide open. You're gonna see America, Statue of Liberty, everything there. And behind them, a desolate wilderness. Then it's gonna look like a desert, lava. All right. Yea, and nothing shall escape. All right. So that's what's coming. Why? Because of this. All right. So the ones that lifted themselves up in their defense, and the one that bent their bow, let the archer bend his bow. So people like Russia have bent their bow, their missiles, and got them ready. Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. And that's what Russia's been doing since 1990s, since the fall of Russia, the Soviet Union. And they was trying to bully Russia and these other nations. Europe, NATO, and America. Now Russia's saying they're stronger now. Why? Because the Most High made them stronger. They thought this proxy war was going to weaken Russia. Instead, it made them stronger. It made them unveil all their missile technology, all kind of shit. They woke up a bear. Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Man, those spears are missiles. Stop putting your money into agriculture and, and infrastructure. Instead, they put their money into war. Because that's what they were being threatened with, war. So for 10 years, Russia has been preparing for these wars. It says, let the weak say, I am strong, man. Now, they're saying that. They're all saying they're strong. So, look at this. Ezekiel 38. Let's start from here. Ezekiel 38 and 1, 2, I mean. All right, so this is Ezekiel 38 and 2. Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, basically Russia. All right. The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, prophesy against him, and say, thus saith Yahweh the power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. Even though the Lord is using Russia, the Lord is still against Russia, all right, against those Idumeans and these other heathen nations. But the Lord is going to use them. And he's brought Russia back onto the scene. It has controlled Russia to be the powerhouse that they are today. It has driven Russia, the Most High has driven and allowed Russia to want to come back into being that old Soviet Union, USSR, and they want to gather those nations around Russia, like Ukraine, Crimea. They want to bring them back into being annexed, meaning joined back into Russia. All right, so that's the plans of Putin. But then you got NATO and America right there starting wars with Russia over those lands, and for an agenda dealing with time. The devil's coming down, having great wrath because he knows he has but a short time. All right, that's why they're moving to push these wars. That's why the situation happened with Trump. Seemed like he got his office stolen, and next thing you know, you got a new president in there, and now he's pushing all the agenda of the elites on the, it's like everything moving quick because they know they have but a short time. All right, so it says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. See, causing the Most High took control of the mind of Putin. The king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. He steers it soever he will, just like the river. All right. And I will bring thee forth. See, now Russia has been brought forth just like a bear that was in hibernation. And all thine army, horses and horsemen, all right, meaning forces, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. So they got all kind of technology. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, meaning highly trained soldiers now that can deal with technology, and they got them damn cyborg suits and shit, all kind of new missiles, and lasers, you know. It says what? Now I'm gonna get to the point. All right, just to get to the point. Verse 9. It says, verse 8, after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel. All right, so which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. Right. So Russia's going to come up against America, and they're going to go up against the land of Israel. Even though we don't dwell there, they're still going to go up against that land. And they will come up against America, where a lot of the Israelites are at, right, in America. It says, thou shalt ascend like a storm, and come like a storm, man. It's going to be unexpectedly. Russia's going to just show their wrath out of nowhere. You see, they've been real calm. But eventually they're going to show their wrath. Just, they could take the lead and do a first strike at any time. And thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and thy bands, and many people with thee. So they're going to go up against Israel. They're going to go up against NATO. And ultimately they're going to go up against this place, America. All right. Thus saith Yahweh, the power, it shall also come to pass that at that same time shall things come into thy mind. See, the Most High controlling Putin, controlling Russia, and thou shalt think an evil thought. Right, man's goings are of the Most High, and you're gonna think a bad thought. You're gonna have bad intentions to destroy this place. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, meaning this place has no type of defense. It's unwalled, it's not protected, but it's the hammer of the earth. So that's why people are in fear of it. That's why people and nations were saying, who can make war with the beast, which is led by America, the horse sitting upon the scarlet-colored beast. Who can make war with NATO and America? Well, Russia's saying they can. And the Most High saying he's going to lead Russia to go up to come up against this place. They can send submarines and drones and all kind of shit right to the borders of America. It scared the hell out of everybody. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. See, in their brigadine, right? All of them dwelling without walls, having neither bars nor gates. No kind of protection. You know? It says what? To take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand to places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. So yeah, man, the Lord's going to eventually lead Russia against this place, and it has no defense. Right? They're going to put his lights out. So there's prophecy. They said it clearly. NATO, America, Europe, they were expecting Russia to get weaker from these proxy wars, but instead Russia's gotten stronger. And America was the hammer of the earth because of their air force and they're dropping bombs on people, the threats. But now America is losing that authority and that power to do so around the world. They gotta be real sneaky with it and go through proxies. And they've seen that this place has no armor, no protection, no missile defenses. So that's all prophecy, man. The unwalled villages. With that, I'm gonna end it. Say, Shalom.